What's up, guys? Clash Knight here, and today I wanted to talk to y'all guys about there's another hurricane. It is called Hurricane Irma. Right now, it is a Category 3. It's hitting Florida as we speak. It went to a Category 5 to a Category 4, and then to a 3. It hit Key West. Now it's in Florida. It's already hitting. They say it's going to Naples, somewhere in Florida. I don't really know where. I think it's Tampa. And I want to talk about that. I do not live in Florida, so I am good. And yeah, today I'll be showing y'all little clips of what's going on. And yeah. Um, bye, guys. Peace. And don't forget to always be a knight. Bye, guys.
Here's your Friday evening internet weather update on the tropics. I'm Chief Meteorologist Alan Seals, and there are active storms, 3 hurricanes, 2 of them Category 4, 1 of them a Category 2. Jose, which a lot of folks may not be focusing on, it's actually approaching the same islands that Irma hit just a few days ago. Winds of 150 miles an hour. It is a high Category 4, and keep in mind, to become a Cat 5, the winds would just have to go up 7 miles an hour. Either way, you clearly can see the eye of Hurricane Jose, a powerful storm that will brush islands like Anguilla, perhaps Barbuda. Again, they were directly hit by Irma not too long ago, and then turn more to the northwest into the central Atlantic, only slowly losing strength, but literally lingering there perhaps for up to a week. Now look at that picture. That's not Jose. That was on Tuesday. That was Irma, and look where it went. Right across Barbuda, Anguilla, the British Virgin Islands, and then north of Puerto Rico, now on the coast of Cuba, and right behind it, that one is Jose. And look at the 2 storms. They're both Category 4s. They
And the fact that we're already dealing with some of those squalls moving in. Meteorologist Dave Warren.
We'll start to see a few more bands here setting up. This is a real-time Doppler radar, and as you're getting these moving through, the rain comes down and the wind picks up. It's not sustained tropical storm force, but certainly you're seeing that with the way of it gusting there right now. This was the one band that we just saw move through there around Miami and Kendall, Cutler Bay. Even a few lightning strikes being picked up here. So here's the close-up view, shows exactly where this is, and just went through Miami, right over parts of South Beach and over Biscayne Bay. This is slowly pushing north, and the rain itself is moving in from east to northeast to southwest. Very heavy rain there just south of the airport. So these bands will be coming in. They're setting up. They're coming in already. The wind picks up as these move through, and a little farther view, we can see there's still some bands well offshore. And this next one here, this will be a little stronger, and there's some lightning strikes. You're seeing the lightning there off in the eastern sky. So look at this movement. Now, what's going to happen here as soon as you start to pick up the center of the storm here, which is down around here, now we're going to start getting position updates each hour, and that certainly will be key in tracking this storm as it moves to the west and eventually makes that north turn. But that's the center of the storm right there, picked up with the radar. The radar's, the storm's within about 300 miles, so that's when you start to see, that's about the range of the radar, so we're keeping an eye on that. But in the meantime, watch this band here, this one stronger band that'll continue to move through. It's right around Miami right now, and just that stronger one to the south, there it is, right towards the Keys and continuing to push through. So the biggest change with the forecast, with a little slight change in track, could be the flooding potential.
Comparison here, Sean, to Hurricane Andrew. This is going to be bigger and larger, not only because of the size, but remember, Hurricane Andrew, when it made landfall, was in Homestead, Florida. That was not downtown Miami in terms of the full throttle of that storm. That was only 30 miles, 30 miles wide was that eye where it was fully destructive. We're talking a lot larger space here. This is the first time this city down here is going to face this type of storm. And so they are urging people to leave. That water expected fully to come at least through here, for sure.
Hey, Brian, I hope these people will heed that warning. We're looking at the lights on behind you. Certain people are still in there, or maybe some just left the lights on?
I can't say for sure because I didn't go in that building, but I can tell you that the hotel we're staying at, which is down the block here, that hotel is still down on the other side of the island there. Just as threatened by water, it's still fully functional and open. We spoke to people at the supermarket, at the Publix, that closed at 8 p.m. No more food for people. People said they were staying. Some people that were in evacuation zones. Others were leaving. A little bit of a mixed bag inside that supermarket. So while I can't say for sure that it's 100% not full, I mean, given what we've seen today, we've seen that people are really set on staying. We haven't really had that storm. I grew up down here, and everyone said that storm was coming. And it never really hit that hard except for Wilma. And I went through that, and that was Category 3. This is something we've never experienced before. And so
viewers on our local station, WSVN 7 in South Florida, have been seeing for the last hour. This is the most likely track. You see the cone here. The cone includes everything from Tallahassee, Florida, east. The entire peninsula of Florida is in that cone of uncertainty. This is not saying everybody there will get everything, but the chances that the center of the storm, the eye of the storm, the 25-mile-an-hour eye of the storm that right now carries 175-mile-an-hour winds at surface level will pass somewhere in this cone. The likeliest point of impact is along this line. Again, this is from our station WSVN 7 in Miami. Likeliest point of impact right along here. I want to show you what that means in the big picture. 5.9 million people live in Miami-Dade County, Broward County, and the Palm Beaches. That's the three counties here. So the cone goes everywhere. The cone goes everywhere from Tallahassee. You saw the cone there a little bit ago. And it includes all of the peninsula of Florida. Clear, off. Want to bring this in a little bit so you can see the area of greatest concern. And I'm showing you this because this is as serious a storm in the 30 years that I've been doing this as anyone has ever covered. Part of it is it's so strong. The eye is so wide at 25 miles an hour. But more importantly, where they think it's going over this population center. This is Lake Okeechobee. This is Key Largo, Florida. Here's Miami and Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, West Palm Beach, and Jupiter, and the Jupiter Inlet there that you've probably heard a lot about. I want to show you where this most likely track of this storm is. Now think of it. The distance from Naples to Fort Lauderdale is 100 miles across Alligator Alley, right in the middle of the Florida Everglades. So here to here is 100 miles. The storm contains hurricane force winds 50 miles out from the center, so 50 miles in all directions. Here's the likely track. This is the likely track, the most likely track of this storm. Now, it could hit anywhere, but here's what's most likely. It comes in this way, it turns to the north, it comes in right about Key Largo, goes straight up through Miami-Dade and Broward and the West Palm Beaches and goes out somewhere along the Jupiter Inlet. That's the most likely track of this storm. And that is, for South Florida, absolutely the worst case scenario for a hurricane of this kind. Because this storm, that's the most likely track. It could hit anywhere, but that's most likely. This brings 175 mile an hour winds at the surface, and 30 stories up in a condominium tower in a hotel, they're more like 200 miles an hour. There's no hurricane rating for buildings at 200 miles an hour, not 30 stories up. This brings a storm surge of 10 to 15 feet, which would cover all of this. All of it. All of this would be 10 to 15 feet underwater. All of it. And that's the reason why in zones 1 and 2 right now in South Florida, which is right along the coast from Key Largo all in through here, 1 and 2 has a mandatory evacuation now, because if it happens the way they believe it's going to happen, if it happens the way it's being discussed right now in WSVN in South Florida, this will decimate South Florida. You got to hope it makes a turn to the east.